We're back in the book club, and this time a haunting collection of short stories you might have missed. This is Animals at Night by Naomi Booth. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, at Dave Musson on Instagram, and normally this is the place where I talk to you about Stephen King, but in this spin-off series, I'm here to recommend good books to you. Yes, this is the book club where each time I bring you a book that I've really enjoyed and that I think you will too. And in each episode, I'll give you the synopsis of the book, a bit about the author, a spoiler-free review of the book, and I'll try and align it to a Stephen King book, so you've got that as a point of reference and you can decide if you want to go and read it. And if you do go and read it and you enjoy it, don't forget to leave your own reviews and ratings on Goodreads and Amazon, and rave about it on your own social media channels so your friends and connections see it too and maybe go and give it a try themselves. It really does make a difference in spreading the word about great books. Now this time we're covering a collection of short stories from 2022 which came out on Dead Ink Books. It's Animals at Night by Naomi Booth. I'm going to get to the usual book club treatment of that in just a second, but first a couple of very quick plugs. So 3 things. My collection of short stories, Once More Around the Sun. Not as good as this book, but it won some awards in 2024 and people seem to like it. My range of Stephen King themed band t-shirts. Perfect if you like a certain selection of bands and Stephen King books and want them merging. Go check out the range. And lastly, you can become a member of this channel, become a constant viewer, get access to exclusive content, early access to regular content, all of that sort of stuff. The links to all of those 3 things are in the description. Do check them out. And of course, if you can't do any of that, that's fine. But hey, maybe consider subscribing to this channel so you don't miss anything in the future. That would also be stellar. Okay then, on to Animals at Night, a collection of short stories by the British author Naomi Booth that has central themes of womanhood, motherhood, and plenty to get under your skin and unnerve you. Let's get into this. Here it is, Animals at Night on the book club. Okay, we'll start with the synopsis of Animals at Night. A woman feeding a baby late at night listens to the animal sounds in the city around her. A grieving widow encounters an injured jellyfish on a deserted beach. A young woman can't shake the image of a dying hare she finds at the side of the road. A dairy farmer hears her herd bellow with fear at night. Animals at Night is Naomi Booth's first collection of short stories. Collected here are stories that illuminate the strange nocturnal meetings between humans and other animals. And then a bit about the author, Naomi Booth. So, Naomi Booth is a writer and academic. Her fiction tends to explore unsettling landscapes, strange compulsions, dangerous bodies, and contamination. Her short fiction has been longlisted for the Sunday Times EFG Short Story Award, the Gallery Beggar Press Short Story Prize, and included in Best British Short Stories 2019. Her story Sour Hall, which is in this book, was adapted into an audio drama by Audible. So as your background, let's get into my spoiler-free review of Animals at Night. So this was my first time reading anything by Naomi Booth, despite having her on my list for ages, and it did not disappoint. This was a quite brilliant collection of short stories that contain some of the best writing I've seen about grief, about womanhood, and about motherhood for quite some time. I kind of found it equal parts charming and haunting, right from the cover, which is very striking, all the way through its collection of stories right to the end of it. It's not explicitly horror, but I think there's enough here to unnerve and unsettle and get under your skin that it warrants a place on this channel and warrants me telling you about it and recommending that you go and read it. So I'm going to grab my notes and go through the stories that were particular standouts. I enjoyed all of them, but the ones I wanted to mention were as follows. So, Strangers. This was a very moving and haunting piece about a woman taking her mum's body on a final tour before giving her a natural burial. This musing on aging, on change, and on loss just really struck a chord with me. A Cluster. This was a beautiful bit of pondering, sort of bound by the image of a new mother up all night feeding her baby with cluster feeding, hence the name. And she's watching a mixture of interesting and dark things outside her window. Like, aside from what's going on out there and that setting your imagination going, it's a really powerful piece reflecting on what motherhood does to you. Hey, Animals at Night. This one, my God. Just this stressful interior of being inside a mother's head. Like the things she didn't notice in this holiday home, like the hard floor that might be a danger to her child, her husband holding her toddler's hands up high while she walks, despite her having asked him not to do that. And then there's this, like, that's all stressful. And then there's, alongside that, this is where we get the dead hair or the dying hair, and the description of that, my God, just so like haunting. And there's a great line here. She feels in every wonderful moment that they are teetering on the brink of something terrible. That's what being a new parent is like. It is so stressful and terrifying. And for mothers, it's even worse. And oh God, this opened my eyes and just made me feel stressed the whole time I was reading it in a really good way. So tell me what you like. This is another musing on grief and the contradictions of being a human who survives losing another. Really clever piece of writing that I thoroughly enjoyed. Clean work. This is something about dealing with pests. Like, it was unnerving and completely maddening, and I think you'll enjoy it a lot. Transcendent inadequacies. I've included this here because basically the youngest child in this story reminded me a lot of my own child, a little angel who occasionally bites. This is just a darkly funny tale of haves and have-nots, of class, and of sticking it to snobby piano twats, which I really enjoyed. Days Clean. So this one is just a slice of life for someone trying to stay sober. Like, it's mundanely beautiful, this story, and it's punctured with a really grisly description of a cat gnawing its own tail off. Which sounds random and weird, but totally works in the context of the story. You'll just have to read it to see why. The Chrysalides. This is a beautiful pandemic story about butterflies and about life in general. One of the better pieces of post-pandemic fiction I've read. The Mouth of Vault is mostly weird and a little annoying before this really dark ending that just pulls it all together and makes you think, no, actually, that was really good. And then Sour Hall. So a quote here, it is bright and dark at the same time, like the light in a man's eyes the moment before he turns on you. This was just a dark, bleak, powerful story that's also hopeful as well, but also it has a description, and this is a content warning for you, it has a description of losing a baby that is all kinds of just holy shit. And yeah, wow. And this is the one that's been turned into an audio drama. I'm very tempted to check it out. So when it comes to comparing this to a Stephen King book, I guess if you distilled down the more literary stories in Bazaar of Bad Dreams and Everything's Eventual, you get something similar to what we have here at Animals at Night. Although, of course, Animals at Night is written by a British woman and obviously has very different perspectives to the white American dude Stephen King. But for that comparison point, there you go. I'm wondering whether I need to ditch this section at some point, but hey, let's stick with it for now. So to sum up, I mean, obviously, because I brought it here to the book club, but I would highly, highly, highly recommend this collection of short stories. It's literary, it's beautiful, and in its darker moments, which are plentiful throughout the book, it is horrific as well. Like I said, this is the first time I've read anything by Naomi Booth. I'll definitely be checking out more of her work. She's got novels out there to read, and I'm definitely keen to add her to my list once I've worked through my current pile of books to read. But this one is out now. It's been out since 2022. It's on Dead Ink Books, who you should definitely check out. They put out a range of amazing stuff. And yeah, go and pick this one up. Okay, there we go. Another book club episode done. What do you think of The Sound of Animals at Night? Are you going to go and check this one out and go and read it? And if you do and you enjoy it, don't forget, leave your ratings and reviews on Goodreads and Amazon and rave about it to your friends, to your family, to your social media contacts, all of that kind of stuff. It really does help make a difference. Otherwise, thank you for checking this out. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you really enjoyed it, you can become a constant viewer of this channel. You can become a member and support me directly and get exclusive access to extra content. And of course, you can check out my collection of short stories, Once Born Around the Sun, and my collection of Stephen King themed band t-shirts, if that sounds like your sort of thing. But otherwise, take care. And if you're coming back for the book club, well, I'll see you next week for another book for you to go read. Okay?